Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. I got to come up with some more jams, fellas. I'll get there. Running behind tonight, as usual. I need more jams for the pre-log part of the show. Here we go, fellas. So, do you want to know what it is? Well, we're going to find out! Warning, Archer's Garage Live is not suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
Sir Jeremy, you are a true friend of the crown. Dilly dilly.
Dilly dilly!
Madam Susan, you are an even truer friend of the crown. Dilly dilly.
Dilly dilly! Hey! This is where it gets ugly.
What is that?
Queen is hot.
This is a spiced honey mead wine that I have really been into lately.
You guys know what mead wine is? It's kind of gross.
So, dilly dilly? Right?
No.
Please follow Sir Brad.
Yes,
He's
Sir
going to give
Brad.
you a private tour of the Pit of Misery.
I'm sorry, what? Pit of misery! Dilly dilly!
Dilly dilly! Dilly dilly! All right, let's see. Am I here? I think I'm here. I didn't like hit all the buttons properly. I might have a little feedback tonight. It'll be a touch of feedback from let's see, it's the desktop channel between the mic because I forgot to do something. You'll hear it now. You hear it now? No. You won't hear it on the mic. I straightened that part out. So I'm not getting any feedback there on the mic. I got to push the mic back out of the way because Renegade's he's like, why do we have to hear all your mouth sounds? Well, because the mic is too sensitive. This is the Rode mic. And he's like, well, why are you wearing your headset? All these questions, I didn't get mad at you, Renegade. I don't know if you're around, if you watch it later. But yeah, he asked me a while back. And so yeah, last week I actually kind of pushed the mic back a little further away. And I can drop the gain down a little bit too. And I'll explain real quick. So let's see, it's negative 1.6. I want like negative 2.6. That'll tuck it down a little bit more. See, it's a Rode mic. So really what it is, and I've showed it. I don't have the other camera set up. Rode mics are made in Australia. They're actually really good, the Rode stuff. It's expensive. So it's a shotgun mic and it's got a battery in it and it has some noise cancellation, which I tend to just leave on because it's always so noisy in the shop and everything. It doesn't really cancel everything out. And Ken asked me too, it's like, what are you using and everything? I'll probably bring up the Rode. Yeah, I'll show you. I'll bring it up. Let's see, the Rode shotgun mic. Yeah, here we go. Mic for the camera, yeah. They have them for a whole bunch of different kinds. These are some of the newer ones. Mine's a little older, but they have a whole bunch of different mics, and I want to get, in the future, I want to get some additional mics. This one is kind of close to it. I'll show you guys in a minute. Mine's a little bit different, but you get the same idea. So a shotgun mic is a mic that what they do is imagine a whole bunch of straws. You put the straws together, and the straws are open on one end and one on the other end, and they're a couple of different lengths, and they bunch them all together. And then at the back end of the straw is the mic capsule itself. And then that's put inside of a housing, and then you put like a foam thing over it. And so what it does is that when you aim the mic, it picks up what's in front of it only, and it has a very narrow pickup pattern. And everything to the back is pretty much muted. Like if I mount it on the camera and I forget, and I'm trying to show something and holding the camera, it's the wrong mic for that. You need an omni or unidirectional mic for that. And let's see. So the pattern in the front is a little bit like this. So when I set it up in the shop near the camera, and the camera, I like to keep it one of the cameras I keep far away from the work and the table. And if I stand on the other side of that table, I can be pretty damn far away. And as long as I stand within that relative, range, it picks up like it's right next to you. And some people like this. Not everybody does. It's quiet in here. The noise floor is very low, especially now that I've got that big curtain up that I put up back there. You do hear the fan. Or you might hear it a little bit coming from the computer. But usually during the day with the windows and everything open, there's a bigger noise floor. And I do use some stuff on the back end. Let me show you this mic first before I say hey to everybody. Just so that the question is there. There's a lot of really nice mics out there. And this one, I can make it louder. I can actually boost it. Or I can cut it. So it depends. Like cameras don't have good preamps when you plug a mic into a camera. This is pretty much what it looks like. It's very close. Mine is a little bit different. Some of these have some different designs. They've updated them. Mine was a little bit more money. This has got a slightly different shock mount. Mine has a shock mount on it. And these are the ones for cameras. They make them for other things as well. So it's a nice system. And like I said, it comes with you have to put a battery in. I usually put a rechargeable battery in it. It lasts for a very long time. Sometimes I forget. I leave the mic on. I come back the next day or whatever, and it's fine. So that's just a quick answer to that. Let me come back. And then, let me see if I have this up here. So I record a lot, like this is going through the computer, but it goes through the switcher. And that's an AV switcher, so it's audio visual. And so here it is here. So this switcher allows me to switch from different cameras and allows me to add effects. This is also where when I set it up, you see graphics come through if I want them. But here is the actual audio processor. And so I do have some equalization on it, and I have some noise cancellation on it as well. This section here is I have it set up more for live shows. And then there's one over here that's sort of grayed out. That's actually the camera microphone itself, and you can hear it. You should be able to hear it here. That's actually the camera mic, and you can see how this section lit up red, and this section is now gray. So it's still connected. It's just I'm not using it. So this would be what the camera mic sounds like. This is what the two of them together sound like. And then, of course, this is the shotgun mic, right, that I climb up on and I make all kinds of stupid noises. All right, let me come back. And catch up with everybody. So that's kind of how I get the audio that I get. And usually when I dial it in right, because I not only took it in school, but like me and my friend Rob for years, when I was very young, hanging around the rock bands and stuff, we got to play with all the mixing boards and the microphones. There's many different kinds of microphones. This is not the one that I really should be using. When you watch a lot of live shows or some of the more professional live shows and interviews, they usually are using a Shure mic. And that's one of the brands typically that they'll use. And you'll notice they keep the mic very close. And if they so much as get like this far away, you can't really hear them. That's how a lot of performing mics are set up. Because you don't want the mic to be too sensitive. It will pick up all of the room noise, which you'll have to deal with, and it will pick up all of your personal weird noises. And so I happen to be one of those people that has a lot of weird noise, especially now that the diabetes has wrecked my teeth, right? So most people can't even speak right when they start to lose their teeth. It's very difficult, right, to be trying to do stuff when you're aging and crap's going wrong. So I was at the doctor the other day, freaking him out again, right? Let me bring you guys back up. Where'd you guys go? I'll say hi to all you guys. Let me put my glasses on. So look, choosing the right mic is important. But it's money, and I don't have it. So saying, hey, everybody, so Ken, Brett is here. Mitch is here. Brett's here. He's like, sing it, brother. So Robert says, quit jamming me, Tom Petty and Heartbreak. I can't do any copyrighted stuff. By the way, remember like Free Fallin', right? So like one of the games that I used to host, I go way back to like Arma 2, Daisy Epoch, the zombie games and stuff. So I used to write a lot of my own code. I ran server, and this is going back like 2007, 2008, 2010. And one of the options was like when you die or when you spawn into the server for the first time into the game, right? You could come in on the ground, you could come in on the coast, maybe get like a little backpack, a knife, some food, whatever. But the other option is that you could pick a spawn point and it would drop you out of an airplane and you'd parachute in, which is kind of good because while you were coming down, you could kind of scope the area and see maybe, oh, look, there's a car or there's a pack of Zeds or there's some AI, military. And of course, one of the things that I used to put in there, like when you were falling and you could free fall for a time before you pulled your chute, I put Tom Petty's Free Fall and everybody loved it. But, they couldn't bang you for any copywriting or anything like that in those days. So there was just no way through a game to do that. Not true on YouTube. Although you can, like if you, I don't know, they just changed the rules again on copyright music. They're getting more stringent because of the new 3-minute shorts. They decided to do something a little bit different, and they're going to be more stringent with copyright infringement. So I wouldn't even chance it at this point. Like a lot of us that are YouTubers have learned the hard way that even back in the day, if you left like a radio station on or a music playing in the background, even though it was low, if it ran long enough and you got quiet enough for a minute, they'd pick it up and they'd bang you. All right, remember? Didn't you guys remember that? Oh, okay. Ken didn't send me when I got it from Amazon. So what's wrong with the Amazon one? Robert's talking about the fuel pump. Little fuel pump. Mitch says, need to play some jams to a countdown to start. Yes, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, I'll get into that at some point. I didn't have any time today to prep or anything. I slept like all day. On and off, right? Just to try to rest and catch up there, to rest. Yeah, Tom Petty was good. Yeah, he was good. Let's get that right, Tom Petty. Here comes my good. That was another one. Great. They were all really good songs. It wasn't just like Tom Petty himself. That guitarist was awesome. The whole band was really good. Bleach's song is Mary Jane's Last Dance. Mailhouse says, so true. Brett says, groceries arrived. Nice. Got to put them away. Got to put away all the groceries. That's good. Mitch says, he will be missed. He is sorely missed. He was awesome. That's the kind of like regular rock that I like. When I think of like blues-based rock, non-Satanist messaging rock, right? Where like the rap and even the rappers, they're getting sick of it. Like everybody's getting, you saw what happened the past couple of days, right? At the election. Everybody's getting sick of the nonsense. So God bless. Just wanted like rock and roll to listen to and to play. We did a couple. One of the bands I was in, we did a couple of Petty songs now, come to think of it. I don't remember which ones, though. I'll have to think about that. I just remembered that. Yeah, we actually did a couple of Tom Petty songs. Why not, right? Because, I noticed you used my Arches Jam twice. Yes, I did, Brett, definitely. I used the song in the past couple of videos is like Brett's one of his favorites. And I actually like it, too. It seems to go well with certain things. I kind of really scored. I listen to a lot on occasion. I will sit here when I'm tired and I need to veg out like today. And I can't do anything. Like I just need to rest. And I don't want to work on videos. I listen to a little bit of Ken Show. I'm like, nah, I want to watch, and you'll see some of it. I wanted to watch some machinist videos from back in the day. There is a company, and when I get a chance, if I don't see it later, I'll do it next week. There's a company that picked up on a lot of the old historic educational videos from Well, mostly from like 1948 and during the war years. And a lot of this was sort of educational how-tos on like machining and things like that. But some of these videos go further back. And one of the things I was reading about it was there was a fellow that was had won Olympics, a gold champion, swimmer. And he retired after the Olympics, and he went to California and he started a video group, essentially, hold on, I'm getting a stream issue. Figures. He started a group to basically do all of these shots and make these videos, movies, for the government. Government commissioned it, and there's some nice stuff. I mean, of course, you can go to any YouTube channel today and get the latest and greatest on the brand new equipment. But this is vintage stuff. Let's see. Now, I don't have any drop frames. I'm running a little higher than what I should run. It says, there's not enough. YouTube's not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Open the widget. It'll pass. Yeah, status is poor. Yeah, I'm going to lower it down a little bit. Let's see. What's that one called? I don't remember. Hey, TJM. I don't remember. Wish I heard it 40 years ago when I played drums. Would have loved to play along with it. Nice. Yeah. Get yourself another drum kit. It's on YouTube's list of tunes. Problem is like they don't list. YouTube doesn't list their genres right because they have both free and paid music. So you can, well, either way, the musicians get paid from me. So if my video makes any money whatsoever, they get paid. But I can pay up front, or I can use the freer stuff. The pay up front is a little bit better. Some of that music is a little bit better, but I just don't have the cash for it. But eventually I will. I will definitely pay for some of it up front. And then, of course, there's a lot of companies outside of YouTube where you can get clip art, movie shorts, photos, music, and then you can really pick your genre. Because I want to do more blues. That's why I want to fire up the guitar at some point. And I think I can just basically play over like blues jams and just like solo. And I'm not going to run like a 2-minute tune or anything like that. But I can make my little, segues and things of that nature. Yeah, let me turn my stream signal down a little bit because of course I'm having problems with the internet. Well, the girls are home and they're all watching stuff. Let's see. I should be able to just turn it down a little bit. It's not a very high anyway. But the quality is high. That's its problem. Yeah, we'll go down to, we'll try 34. Give it a minute to settle in. It might. Open the widget again. The stream is healthy, but it's just, it just went to, at 9:02, it just went to like not quite enough. But it is what it is. It'll buffer a little bit. Unbelievable. There, it just went off again. Wish I heard it 40 years ago. The beat reminds me of Green-Eyed Lady by Sugarloaf. Oh, that's a good one. Let me see here. I'll tell you what it is in a minute. I keep it in a folder. And I'll just peek and listen to it. I'll just run through a couple of them. So when I sit down, like if I'm, really kind of cranky and tired like today, when I have time, I'll go through a lot of this stuff. I think it's Silent Partner. Let's see. You might hear it. Hold on. I'll let the desktop audio. I don't know if it's connected. I don't know if this part of the system is connected to OBS Studio. But let's find out. Yeah, you can hear it. So it's Silent Partner by Parasail. That might be a little high. That's good stuff. It's just like easy listening. It's good because it's not overwhelming for a video, you know? Yeah, we can play. Let me put this over. Hold on. Do I have it? Yeah, we'll put the. Oh no, this will make noise. Hold on. See all the spots on the camera? See the spots? Yep, that's dirt. That's all the dirt. Gotta get rid of that. Big Mike! There's the doggy! Mr. Dog. Oh, not bad. I almost timed it right. Sweet! I got the timing right somehow. Nice! Alright. Coming back. I gotta close all this stuff down. Hold on. Make sure it's closed. Yeah, I'm eating, so you're going to hear noises. Because it's really sensitive, this microphone. Yeah, Parasail. There's a lot of good stuff out there for free. Let me turn the Sunstar Glow Up off. Let me transition. Yeah, there we go. It's off. Yeah, that was cool. Definitely enjoyable. So, let's see. Yeah. So basic, yeah, and it doesn't need to be complicated. That was my thing. Like I've done heavy metal, and when I was younger, and it did all that nonsense, and got into some nice rock and roll, and the more complicated shit. My friend that taught me a lot, he's into jazz and stuff. But I always say, like, whenever you listen like jazz, it's like the drums. It sounds like somebody took their kit and they were trying to get it down the stairs and they slipped, and all the drums just fell right down the stairs. It's not like Buddy Rich and people like that were just they were just amazing in their own right, and they were performers, right? They were showmen at the same time. I do like a lot of the really old music, but I'm not a big fan of jazz. I like pop music, but pop music got weird and Satanist, right? It got the cookie cutter, but some of the pop, what I like about it is that you have to have the hook. The hook is everything. And when you're a little bit of music history, Fats Domino, going back to, like I Found My Thrills and whatever on Blueberry Hill. Fats Domino was very interesting because one of the things that Fats did that no one else really did up until that time. Remember, this is early rock. This is blues rock. Fats Domino is like the boogie woogie and blues rock. And I wish they had taught me that on piano years ago. Otherwise, I wouldn't have failed. But what Fats did is he put the hook out front. a lot of bands didn't do that. The Beatles would start to do that. Paperback Writer. Oh, no, 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 no. Like the hook is right out front. And a lot of those kinds of bands later on, well, they listened to Fats Domino and people like that. And Fats was one of the first people that put the hook right out front. No wasting time. Here's the effing hook. All right. This is what you want. This is what you came for, because the hook is like almost everything. The rest of the song is maybe the words and the vocals get a little bit deep or whatever. It tells a story. That's nice. Blah, 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 blah. And maybe there's a lead of some kind or a solo from somebody. That's nice. Blah, 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 blah. That's cool. I like that. But in like more pop-oriented music, the hook is the hook. And if you can tunesmith a good hook, you've got him hooked. No matter where you put it, you got to have a hook somewhere. And like Tom Petty, there was a lot of songs where the hook was out front, but the rest of the song is still good, but you got to hook people in. And that's the same thing with YouTube too. If like the people that do really well on YouTube, they have a natural way of trying to figure out where's the hook. It's just, YouTube is the same thing. It's the old thing that they teach you. And I've learned this in school. You have to tell a story. If you can tell a story well, and it's a story that people want to listen to, and you can put the climax and the hook and all those things in the right spot, people will listen. Either that, or you wear skimpy shorts and let your boobs hang out. There, I said it. So let me see what you guys are up to if anything's changed. I got the box here. So, hold on. Do you want to know what it is? Neo doesn't care. Yeah, the stream looks like shit too, because I'm like having to cut everything down to like nothing. What do you guys say? One thing that will always be is, I forget what it was one thing, and the other thing was that Arch will have horrible internet. It's like the two facts of life and of the planet Earth. Ooh, let's see what's inside. See what's inside of it. You guys don't care. It's just, this is for me. I think it just came a little while ago, and I want to give you guys an update. I also ordered a set of front wheels, the geared wheels for, lawnmower. And usually I get these for free. I don't have them, man. It was supposed to come today. They didn't. I don't have them, but I bought them. Usually I get them for free, but this company's a bit of a pain in the neck, And like, I'm not doing a wheel video. I'm doing a different kind of a video. Stevie Ray Vaughan is awesome. Yeah, he had the grace, I swear. Let's see. Oh, yeah, that rock's so good. Brett says, I got a face-splitting smile going on up in Everett. Nice. Up in here. Crispus says, Jim Gordon, maybe the best rock drummer. Yeah, and there's a lot of really good ones. Mitch says, Stevie Ray Vaughan. Yup. Brett says, yeah, Mitch is classic. There's so many good people out there, and it's just rock and roll. But to me, the concept was, all right, boys, let's go have some fun. Ooh, I got gloves. So you saw the schmutz on the lens of the camera, right? So I did try to clean some of it off. Where is the other camera? Hold on. It's bad. So I noticed it that day when I took those shots on Mike's Sunstar. And I was like, oh, that's bad. And then I tried blowing it off and whatever. And so we got the gloves, white gloves, in case you want to wear them so you don't touch the lens or whatever. That's bonus. And I noticed it that day. And then recently I was doing some shots with the van and a few other jobs. And I happened to like catch some of the sky, as I like to do that anyway, And I'm like looking back at the footage. I'm like, oh my God. Those things are huge, because the dust is small, but when you magnify it, with a decent lens, it gets big. So with these kinds of cameras, like this kind of camera, here is the sensor. It's right here. That's the sensor. I know there's no light on it, fellas. It's not bright here today, but that sensor's right there. Let me see if I put a little light on it. It has a cool look to it. Hey, look, it's actually reflecting your text window. Right? That's actually what you're seeing. And you're seeing some icons and stuff from up here at the top of my computer screen. I did clean it with some of what I have. and that sensor too needs to be done. What I had to make it better, it has not been cleaned properly forever. I try to keep the cameras clean, but they get filthy. I also put lens protectors on them too, because I cracked the lens on my other camera, the one up there. You know, that lens here. This is filthy. I try to keep them clean. This camera is the cheaper in the Alpha series, and it's not a sealed body. So these are the ones where you can mount different lenses on. It has like the bayonet mount. Yeah, like I used the covers. I wasn't using the covers. So you get this beautiful bayonet mount. That's better. It's a little dusty on the table here, but it should be okay. So you just rack it right in. Line up the dot. I'm kind of holding it up. And then, right, quick click. And so that lens is the smaller, shorter lens. Shorter focal length. This lens would be too much. It's actually better lens and it would look better right now, but it would get me too close, and my ugly face would be like in your ugly face is way too close. That's the other thing too. Is another thing I noticed. Like, see this is a good framing right here. Just a little bit of headroom. I'm not too close. This is appropriate. And one of the mistakes that I see this a lot. This is the noobs of YouTube. Is they get too close. They put the camera too close, and they're like this. You know, everything. It's like that's too intimate, right? What they teach you in school is that's an intimate shot. When a close up is to be intimate, like the two man and a girl kissing or something like that. It's, you know, we're not supposed to be POV, point of view, up your nose and your unshaven chin with the extra skin and all that other shit. No. That's too intimate. And I do watch some people that are very good with what their content and everything is, but they do these shots because they turn the camera around like on their cell phone or whatever, and you're way too close. You're like, whoa, bro, step back, because I can't look at you like that. Stop it, right? Because, you know, they're not hot chicks. So, yeah, pull the camera back a little bit, fellas. A little bit more. You're a little too close. This is good. Or like, Ken, I got to make fun of you. This is Ken when he gets a little tired in his show and everybody else is talking. Right, hold on, wait. This is Ken. Right, this is Ken. You can't see him. He's busy with his phone, right? He's like this. He's like totally out of the way. And the camera is like on such a steep angle. And it's like, Ken, are you still here? Are you still with us, Ken? Are you the host of the show? Who's running this place right now? So, yeah, you got, you know, if you want to, it's perception. And that's how they teach you in film studio, right? And how you create these shots and what is being perceived on the viewer's end. And it can be important psychologically. We respond to this stuff. We don't even realize it, but we respond to it. So like zoom, right? One of the interesting things that's creepy, and this is true in a lot of shots, they'll use a telephoto zoom, and the camera will be very far away, and they'll get a shot of somebody. And what that does is it does two things. It makes the person seem very small and insignificant because the world around them is very large. And it also is somewhat voyeuristic. Depending upon what the text is, the music is, what the concept is, you have these two options from a shot like that. You're peeking in on them. What are they doing, right? Because you're far away. Even the viewer realizes that perception is they're very far away. That's the complete opposite end of being too close. So the shot list, you set up a shot list. I've had to do all of this. You have to map it all out. Although I can't draw for shit, because everything with me is a stick figure, but they didn't care in school, right? You know, as long as you understood. So I got some nice wipes. Now this is one of the things that I like. You guys need a little blow tool? Here, let's dust these off a little bit. Oh, it's horrible. What? Now, I remember I had one of these. Well, I have one like a solder sucker tool, But we had another one, right, for sucking the snot out of Christina's nose when she was a baby, right, when she was like infant. Like, she was pretty good. She almost never really cried, unless there was like 3 things that were bothering her. So if her ears were stuffed up and her nose was stuffed up and she had a fever, that was too much. So you had to go in there and you were like trying to suck out the boogers and everything and get the crap out of their ears and get their temperature down. Like, oh, that's disgusting. It is disgusting. Welcome to having children. Right? I wonder if she's listening to this. She probably isn't. Oh, let's see. What's this stuff here? Cleaning fluid. Oh, I got 2 cleaning fluids. I usually just use alcohol pads that I get for my diabetes, but depending upon what kind of pad it is. Nice. Cleaning fluid. What else we get? We got the swabs. Now, the thing I really want, I hope it better be in here. Oh, yeah, here they are. I won't open them, but this is the sensor cleaning swab. It's like one application, one use. So it's a very special type of cloth on a stick. And you can either use it dry or I don't know if this one might come with this. No, it's dry. So you can put the cleaning solution on it and you wipe the sensor down or across the side just once or twice to get the schmutz off of it. And then you use the blow tool and then, you do the back of your lens and then you can put everything back together again. Look, you get tweezers. These are these little brushes, but I don't generally use the brushes, but they're good. There's a bunch of different brushes in here. I didn't have this kit. I don't know what this is. What's this? This is like a pen. Oh, yeah. That is a lens cleaner, right? It actually, it's like a special, yeah. There we go. That's better. And you could use it on the back side. I got to keep this stuff really clean. So I didn't have one. I was just using like some of the stuff that I had. I thought it had a towel. I'm not sure what this is for. But I just wanted to open this up because I just got it. And you can get all the refills, various brushes. This thing is nice. I needed something like this. Clean air. A lot of us use the computer air, in the can, but I'm out. That's what I was using. Or sometimes I use my compressed air, low pressure. Let me put this away. All right, good. Now I can clean my cameras tomorrow properly. And I can get more of these another time. You don't have to do the sensor that often. It's pretty rare. But, when you're outside, you want to change a lens or something. Like lately, it's been so dry, guys, that stupid idiots, that work in the back by the lake and the cemetery, everybody's blowing with these stupid blowers. I hate these things. And it's so dry. So I was working on, I'll show you, I was working on a lawnmower. And I had it out back and I cleaned it and I was getting ready to paint it. And I went and grabbed a lunch or something and talking to my daughter. And I come back out. There's crap all over it. Right? And they're far from me, but it's so light and burned out. It's in the air. We still have not any rain. We might get some tomorrow. We'll see what happens. I only watered once this week. That's cool. It came in a nice little kit. I guess I should put the blower back in there too. How'd the blower go in here? I can never get everything back in. What is this thing too? I got tweezers. I'm not sure what the tweezers are for. Yeah, what is this? It's like lipstick. Oh, that's another. What is this? Some kind of a brush? Yeah, feels like. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a special brush. Comes out like a lipstick container. Again, when you get these little pieces of crap that just kind of get stuck, you don't want to scratch your lenses. And a lot of these lenses have coatings on them. So you have to be careful what you use. There we go. That's why a lot of times I use this camera for like the dangerous stuff. I just like this because it's protected pretty well. I had to clean my phone too. It was all stuck. There was crap all stuck in this thing. Oh my God, I need to replace the battery still. I'll get to it. I have the battery. It just don't, it's like a surgical procedure to go into an iPhone and replace the battery. And you could screw it up. You know, I mean, you have to be really careful. Let's see. Rich says, new silent partner is in my mixes. Nice. The Arch's Garage theme. It's like it's like becoming like a theme song. You know, I use it for a lot of things. And I like the way, like, when a certain part of the tune comes in, and it gets loud and it comes in, that's when I'll try to like put a splash screen or a weld splash or whatever, like in my outro. I just time it so that it does that. To me, it just makes sense. I can use it for stuff like that. It's a very versatile tune. Hey, Tom, what's up? Mate is here. What in the non-makeup world did I just stumble into, right? Oh, dump butthole. Nice, nice. I like, oh, wait, damp butthole. Now I can see it. That's nice. Wearing my Arch's Garage inspired G-string while watching this makes it hit so much harder. That's awesome. That is so totally awesome. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm happy I got that, and I'm waiting for the wheels to come in. Let me show you guys real quick. The project, right? So I don't know how I'm going to show this project. It might be more like the yellow Cub Cadet project, like in stages. It's not this part 1, part 2 thing. It's more of like, this is a standalone aspect. This is a standalone aspect. But I don't know. But I parted out a bunch of machines, and let me see if I can find it. I'm gonna go slow tonight, fellas, because like I said, I'm tired, and I slept most of the day. I had to. I guess I couldn't do anything else. I'm just too tired, and I need to sleep. Yeah, here's some good aspects. We're gonna whip through it. Remember, it's all unedited, shaky. I haven't added any stabilization to it. Yeah, so I'm at the doctor, right? And like, it still freaks him out. Like, my blood sugars are too high. My A1Cs are like almost as high as you can go. But my issue is the diabetes. And my concern was I lost weight. And so I was talking with him about that. And part of it is I changed my diet. A lot of it is, and I'm an extremely busy person. Like, I'm very, very busy. I cover a lot of miles every day, running around, doing stuff. I've checked it on the wristwatch, the Fitbit and pedometers, and I can average 6 miles a day. And if I start doing other stuff, it could almost double. So that's part of it. Part of it is changing my diet and eating better and cutting out the garbage food and the garbage oils, right? Like canola oil. Remember last week, the canola oil, right? Canola oil is motor oil. It is. So I got rid of all of that. And I tell them how much butter and bacon I eat. And they look at my bloods, and my bloods are fine. Everything is all within, good parameters. It's not an issue. But the sugar, and part of the problem too is that the biggest problem is insulin. The insulin they make is not human insulin. It's made in big vats, that bacteria, genetically modified bacteria, that when they feed the bacteria, it pops out a kind of insulin that is an analog to human insulin. And there's different kinds of insulins that they can give you. And then, of course, of the best insulin you can get, insurance doesn't like to pay for that, right? And insulin is expensive, and if you don't take it regularly, you die, right? So there's this conundrum thing. So if you don't get the best insulin, you get the not so good insulin, which is not really going to work in your body well, which means you won't really convert the sugars properly and store it as fat. And when I've done a lot of studying on this, and I still don't know enough, but 75, at least 75, almost 80% of Americans, including young people, right now are suffering from a condition. It's basically they're morbidly obese. If you're very overweight, if you have a big paunch or a belly or something, you're in that category. And a lot of it has to do with what you're eating, mostly. But also there's other chemicals that we've come in contact with. There's over 8,000 of them. So this is affecting the hormonal makeup within the human body, and children should not be. There are children right now on regular insulin. That was never a thing. So the problem is that this is not the correct insulin. So your pancreas is pumping out all of this insulin, And one of the side effects of that is it's storing these garbage oils and all this extra sugar in your fat cells because it's your insulin. And so that's what it knows to do. Since my insulin isn't working properly or not being produced, and they don't really know, I'm taking an analog, which is not very good at doing that. It'll keep you alive, but the body doesn't really know what to do with it. So therefore, it makes it much more difficult for the body to store the extra sugar energy as fat. So I should be at least 20 pounds heavier to be more in a normal range for my height. And I don't know how to solve that other than I said to him, I said, well, now insurance will only pay for a certain amount of insulin. So one of the problems you run into is you have to work out with your doctor how much insulin you are using versus how much insulin you want to use versus how much insulin you and the doctor can get away with in terms of how much the insurance will pay, because they will actually give you a hard time. Yeah, they'll kill you. They don't give a shit. Die. So I said to him, I said, I really need to inject more insulin. I said, the long acting we have to cut back a little bit on because it makes me go too low. It's not responsive enough to my daily intake of food. So that's what the fast acting insulin does. But I'm not really taking it often enough and frequently enough. And I probably should go on the pump. But the problem with the pump is that you're all hands off and people wind up getting fat. And I've seen this. In fact, one of the guys that I went to for physical therapy, I said to him, I said, you're a young guy and you're on insulin, bro. What does that tell you in your medical training? And you're getting fat. Sorry. I said, what does that tell you? And you're a young guy. So what does that tell you? Yeah, you're headed for disaster. So, well, I really should go back and have them adjust it. Yeah, because you're overpumped. Now, with me, with him, it's different. With me, I'm what they call a brittle diabetic. So if I take too much insulin, I die because I react to it so fast that my blood sugars plummet. And if you hit like 40, you're in a coma and you're dead. There's no coming back from that. 50, I've been at 50 and you're shaking and you have to pee and you don't know what to do and you can't think straight. And all I know to do is literally eat sugar and shove it in my mouth and sugar tablets and sit because you can't do anything. And then you got to wait. And then what happens is I overshoot and then I'll be at 400. And then I have that roller coaster go up and down. So like today, I'm like, everything is pretty good today. I'm, all right. I'm kind of in pain. I'm achy or whatever. I'm done. I'm going to sit down and do nothing and nap like all day long and eat a little bit, So that's why I'm kind of like just not really doing it, not really sharing a lot tonight. I'm just saying, this is welcome to life. And you'll die from this. It almost killed me twice. And people do die from this shit. It's very important to get it under control. Anyway, let's see. He goes, damn butthole says thumbs up for having a sense of humor. See you, dude. He just stopped in. There's Robert Easy, Die Pro. He goes, hello, world. But Oski says, hey, bud, I got your message, but I didn't get a chance to write anything back. Yeah, so there'll be more stuff because I have so much of it and I'm still doing it, Let me show you the lineup real quick. End of season lineup of the stuff I just want to get out. But of course, nothing goes as planned. So when you buy machines and collect them, it's a little bit different than when you do a customs machine, which is pretty much what I've been doing all year, is customer work. When you buy them like this, and you just kind of let them sit around, they're messed up. And you don't know how messed up they are until you start taking them apart. So every year I try to do at least one full overhaul, right? Paint, nice, make it all mint. And this time of year, if you want to sell a lawnmower, especially this late, you're going to have a bit of a discount. You have to give a little bit of a discount, you don't have to do much. But you need to have a really nice machine that has a bag and generally is self-propelled. Otherwise, people won't buy it. And let me show you. Let's see what Die Pro is going. He goes, is also now a first stop of world travel. Oh, very nice. Let's see. Let me tie up with this. Rob is cruising around the world looking for something. He's looking for the piece. The last piece. All right, so we got the line up. This Honda powered, but it needs tires. And possibly a cable, but I'm not sure. This one needs cable, and it's a platinum. It needs more than that.
That's pretty cool. I wouldn't mind one of those. Those are nice, but let's get it out of here again.
Yeah, it's a big problem, that one.
I think it's just a push, but I don't think it needs much. But I already started taking it apart. Probably a dead motor. It looks like I think it's a flathead. So if we have to grab something else,
it's be scrapped.
We'll get started on it, but we'll see. The body's in okay shape. This is an old Takumi powered lawn boy. Not
Can't
great,
get the top off. Very typical.
Needs a carburetor. We'll see.
Nope.
But it's got a bag. So
it does have everything, and in that bag is the entire mulching kit and all the adapters, but I can't get the plastic top off. And this is the same problem with the Toros. They have this top on there with the recess. The shit gets stuck in there, and it rots the head of the bolts, and you can't get them apart. And you wind up having to break the top off just to get at the motor to do anything. Let me see what else. That's some other one. Hold on. I don't care about that guy. It cleaned up okay. Let's see. So all of the parts are in good shape for the most part, except for, let's see if I can find it. I'm just going to kind of cruise around. Yeah, here, hold on. Yeah, so all of these parts are pretty good. The engines are okay. The Briggs engine is only about 50 PSI, so it's not really that good, and there was no oil in it. There's a very good chance that it's no good. It could be used on something else, but it's okay. But at 50 PSI...
the cable back.
Well, let me see what else I want to show you. I just want to cruise through this real quick. All right, I won't get to that yet. Hold on. So I'm pulling apart. I just pull them all apart because one's going to get parted out. So I'm just showing a little bit about the transmission here.
All right, they only go.
So it might be like a separate video, but let me go to another folder here, and I got to bring this up. Let's see which one it is. It might be this one. I don't know. We'll have to cruise through it real quick. Hold on, it's in the wrong spot.
All right.
Here we go.
Here's the bounty here, fellas.
I pulled everything apart.
Run some B-roll right here. Do a roundy-round B-roll over it just to get a little bit of a closer look. We'll pass around the whole thing. I've laid it all out, not particularly in any real order or anything, but you can see this is the bounty. And actually, it is a pretty good bounty this time. There was a lot of stuff here that yielded out everything we need to make one really nice machine with leftover stuff. And no, you can't ask for much more than that. So in the front I now have 3 blades. Only one blade was truly yielded from this bunch, but it was a good blade. And I managed to accumulate 2 more over the course of the season. Like I said at the beginning, I had like nothing. And so just some basic stuff. So we got a really nice Honda motor here. That's in excellent shape.
125 PSI.
Shape. That's done. This motor is tired. This is the one that had almost no oil in it. It had mucky oil. It was really nasty. It only pulls about 50 PSI. Spark is okay. Spark is good on both of them. But it's a big shaft. And we got the blade adapters. All of these star hubs all came off nice.
Except for one's a little bit deep.
That's got the bigger shaft. So it may not have the power. Oh, there we go. That's 12 o'clock. Lunchtime, gotta go.
Hold on.
We need it right now. I have others, but it's there. We got all the pole start assemblies. I got some very nice, and I have the stickers, but I got some very nice hoods. Right, the covers, 2 of them. The stickers are over there. This little guy, somebody cut it, I do that. It's my Honda too. The other one I threw out. They rip and they get in the way. We got 2 nice transmissions. Let me shut that door. Hold on, because they're making all this stupid noise.
Yeah, the damn blowers.
Our choice of cables here. Now, one of these cables, I think I'm going to go to the standard handle because one of these cables is in better shape than the other. And I think the easy pull,
walk or whatever the hell it is.
One of those had a little fray in it on the end. Still might be, it's still usable.
Let's see what else we got.
Working assemblies, standards, and other parts. 2, That'd be great. I'll loop everything and
So, all right, so
get everything nice and
basically
dry.
I got some nice parts out of this. And let's see, is it this one? I think it might be this one. I don't remember. No, it's not that one. Oh, was it test maybe?
All right.
No, that's MKV. Is it this one? Yeah, maybe this one. You'd say that this looks
All right,
nice,
so
but it's not.
It's the next morning. And so last night I did what I said I wanted to do. This is the ones with the holes in it. And I stripped it down. We got the beautiful transmission. We're going to take a little bit of a look at all that in a minute. I know a lot of you would say,
Wayne
"I would
had
still
mentioned
use it."
this
Look, I
today
wanna
at
say It's
Ken's.
the end of the year. I want to be really clear here. I'm going to maybe have to say this a few times. I don't know what I'm going to cut out. At this time of year, in November, which is really late, what we'll sell here is a nice machine like this, black, all nice and clean, with a bag, with whatever additional components you can put with it. And that's in really good shape. And you'll get a decent buck for it. And it doesn't have to be absolutely mint, but it has to be in really good shape. Last night I ordered the wheels. So we're going to be getting the wheels in. Let me see. Hold on. Now I'm going to go and lay out on the table everything in a minute so we can see the bounty. Look at this, fellas. What is this? Who does this? Look at this. I'm going to have to show these a few times, but stop it. I mean, who's using a lawnmower like this? And no, don't wrap it with some piece of crap from an old tire.
I know.
Stop that.
People do that.
Right.
Cut it out.
You know, you do you, right? These are the ones that are worn and stripped on the inside. One more so than the other. I mean, I've had people say to me, "Well, what's wrong with it? It'll be fine." Stop. Look, I'm not selling that. All
Wheels are
That's
cheap.
not something I sell. And you're not going to get a good price. Yeah, these will sell. So the object is to get a good price. But more importantly, the object is to give somebody something that's going to last. And that they're not going to have an excuse to go out and buy an electric mower if
Right, no,
they
yeah,
don't
that's
want
fine.
one. Now, if they want it, and they have, if you haven't done combination of the rocks, there's dents over here. So all those little chicks, each one of those that little modeling chick, what's happened is I knocked it off. Well, then it's bare metal again. Then it rots again. And then it falls off again. And then it's bare metal again. And then a rock hits it. Like, and, you know, I always see, and there's already starting little dents over here. This is the area really where a lot of it gets whipped around and puts a lot of pressure all up in this area, and then it
There's a hole
accumulates.
down there.
And the rougher the surface is, with the spalling that sticks to it, there's even one little piece still here. Yep, there's one little spall right there still left. The grass sticks to it, and then the moisture sticks to it, and it just, this process goes on, and then when it flakes off, it exposes bare metal, which is super thin.
Yeah, let me get a hammer.
These were huge. This is just one that
I just
missed.
knocked one off.
Well, I should probably turn the light off. Let me turn the light off for this. All right, turn the light off because it's sometimes it's just too much.
That's your
But
deck.
that's one of the spalls. But this is a tiny one. It's one I missed. But they were huge, and you could hear them with the turbo nozzle scattering across and ringing, even over the sound of the pressure washer, as they hit all in here and the plastic of the, you know, the wash, my wash area. Right, I put down those plastic skids.
Yep. So that deck is shot.
Something, ice. 30
Anyway,
or
so
10
that
or
deck is
20,
shot.
depending on what arrangements I make for a part.
So here is, just kind of whip through it. So I took all this shit apart, and I'm going to make one. And this is the roundy round, I think, the B-roll. Well, you wind up with a lot of good parts if you can get this stuff cheap enough. And that Honda motor is in very good shape, 125 PSI. You get all these extra parts. You buy this stuff cheap. You have to get it cheap enough. And all the carburetors were good, including an aftermarket piece of crap that was there. But I have a nice OEM carburetor to work with. But I don't need it right now because I'm going to be using the Honda carburetor, which is fine. Just kind of cruise through it real quick. Oh, excuse me. So here's a quick cleaning and derusting.
All right, clean with super clean. There's my Scotch-Brite.
I picked the better body
on it, and it's already doing its job. We don't need too much. We're just gonna let it sit a little bit longer. Then I'll hit it with just a little bit more with the Scotch-Brite.
Yeah. So I use this tool. Is this it here? This might be it. I was having fun with this tool. No, that's after I sanded it. Is this the tool? I don't remember. Oh no, I'm using the heat gun. That's quick. Better than a flame, you know. Yeah, all those kinds of plastics you could do that with. I mean, I don't like doing it per se, but look, it's what are you gonna do? You don't want to leave it like that. So let's try this little
tool. This is
tool.
pretty scuffed up, right? Let's see how it does there. See, there's a ding there from a rock.
So that's Velcro back, and I only picked up a set of 320. 240 would be a little bit better, but the 320 works really good. And it goes really fast. Just to scuff everything up, knock down the shit, get it nice.
Oh yeah, that went quick.
A little smoother than the wire wheel, a little nicer. It gets everything prepped nice because it's polyester. You know, it's a powder coat.
Wow. And keep in mind, that's polyester, so, you know, it's a powder coat on these. Oh, that went quick. And then, you know, I'll finish up the scuff.
And the rest of it's all chemical etching. Because you want your paint to stick.
Probably a little bit of the super clean, but yeah, that did a nice job. It got all the snots off. That's going to look fine. It'll look a lot better, and the paint will stick. That's the key. We'll get in the other areas. Plus, again, the acid etching does...
Let's see what it looks like. I think this is before I painted it. So you can see everything scuffed up.
All right, I got it over here. So it's all been cleaned. And I'm hitting it with a tack rag real quick. I washed it just briefly with some mineral spirits. I think I mentioned that. And like areas like this over here, I got to bring the light over. But well, in areas like this, we're going to hit with the high build primer. Just a few spritz. So, and I'm going to use the Krylon paint with the primer in it. I think that'll help a lot. Got the dent out. So it's looking good. So I'm going to start over here, work my way around, and I
put a little black high build primer on it real quick.
All right, the lighting isn't great, but this is like many hours later. So I gave it just a spritz of clear while it was still tacky. And we'll see it in the light, because I don't like shiny. And I like to make sure I cover over the stickers. And like I said, I don't like shiny. I do like it protected. And if you spray clear from a distance and mist it while it's still tacky, it fuses together. And the clear I use makes it dry fast. Although that paint dried pretty quick anyway.
Yeah, it looks good.
And it gives it like a finish that is like more like a satin, so there's no modeling. Because there are some areas that are the original paint, or I should say polyester, you know, powder. And it's a light coat, very light.
I use very little paint.
You know, because that was kind of nasty and rusty. We'll get a better look at it. It coats everything. Even here where the numbers are, just a little bit, just so it looks decent. All right, yeah, again, well, tomorrow.
Now this is using a different camera setting. I just wanted to see
All right, so this is like a take two. Now, in this setting,
If
on
it
this
showed
camera, this is
anything different, it's
actually
basically
more
the same thing.
like movie mode. So the color profile and
It's
the
like
brightness profile is gonna be a
manual
little bit
versus
different.
automatic. All right,
I
we're
just
done.
wanna-
I'm coming back. I'll catch up to you guys. Let's see here. Let's see. Robert says there's also first stop for world travel. He says he bought a travel agency. Oh, that's nice. Might as well. Back to Charlie will be happy. More canned food for when I give him his medicine. Mark says, hey, Arch, what's up with those? I know, right? I don't get it. I don't know how people use a machine to that point. And then they throw it out or they sell it for a couple of bucks or whatever. And, you know, that's what I do. And every year I try to, I like those are like, those machines are to me, they're the last in a series of machines that came out around 2000 and went, well, I don't know, 2015, maybe the latest, right? Somewhere around there. They're not green. You're going to find them in red and black. And that's another how you know, even if there's no sticker on it. The earlier ones would have been green and silver, gray. Those are different. Those are nice too, but they're different. The transmissions are different. They use the ratcheting pole system within the gears, some of them. That's more complicated. Some stuff you can't buy. Now, the one I wanted to show you is, I don't know if it's gear. I know I put it up on the table. It is a rear drive. I can't fix that one. The baffle is broken on it. And it's too expensive. Brett says, I just parted out one of those out. Deck was completely rotted out. Scored a good engine though, which I used on something else. Exactly. Brett says, yeah, I need a heat gun. Yeah, that's a different kind of a heat gun. It's really more of like a soldering iron type style gun for shrinking, heat shrink, and it's got a little fitting on the end of it too that you can pop on there. So you know those nice solder splices. They're like butt splices, but they have the low melting point solder in it with the flux. And then also they ooze out like a compound that seals the ends of the wires. I got to get more of those. I'm out. You can buy them cheap now, but those are like mil spec. And you don't have to get the mil spec ones. You just, but that gun is perfect for that. Bud says, I forgot that heat gun plastic trick. Yeah, isn't that neat? It's a little bit better than using the flame. Works just as good, depending on your heat gun. Let me see if I can find the one that I wanted to show you guys, the rear drive. I looked up the plastic baffle, and it's like $100. And the machine's in beautiful shape. Let me just kind of cruise through this real fast. Robert says, Timo has those splices. Yeah, Timo, but I don't like Timo. Amazon's got them. Timo's not going to have cheap prices for much longer, too. There's a whole scandal going on with Timo. Let's see if I can find it. It's in here somewhere. It's got this. I think this is it. Let me just cue it up and see. Yeah, this is it. I won't get a close-up
let's
or
take a
anything of
look.
it. But
So plug.
it's one of these.
Can you see it?
That's the plug that came out.
We put
Engine's
a
in great
light on?
shape. Runs great.
It's one of these. But it's not terrible. We're also going to.
I checked the compression, went
Oh, it's
over
full.
everything. The problem with it is, let's see if this is this section here. No, that's different.
All right, time check.
All right,
It's
but that's
222.
That's the machine. Hold on, let me come back. Rear drive, and it's in really nice shape. The body's in nice shape. The wheels are in nice shape. Everything's in nice shape except for the plastic baffle. And this is my problem. I don't think I have a shot. I'm sure I do, but it's mixed in with everything. The baffle is really badly broken. And without that baffle, you're not going to get any kind of like transfer, grass transfer into the bag. And the baffle's like $100. So there's no money in the machine if I buy the baffle. Now I do have a nice blade, like a mulching blade, and I can just pop the mulching blade on and rip the baffle off. And it'll mulch okay and put a low price on it and don't sell it with a bag, but not this time of year. Nobody will buy it. So there's no point working on it. So this is one of the dangers. So, I may do a kind of a video on, maybe one video will be sort of something to that effect of like how I do this, what to look out for, how to kind of do this and make money, but also what to look out for when you're buying one of these used machines, and especially if you happen to have one. Now, the other approach too is if you happen to have one and you're looking for some extra parts, I can address that aspect of it as well, because it may be worth buying a $25, $30 machine from somebody as long as you see that the mixture of parts is what you're looking for. And if you want to make one and sell it, then you may need 2 or 3, and you want to get them at the right price. But something like that baffle for that rear drive is I bought these like sight unseen. So that rear drive I didn't know the baffle was going to be like that. It was going to be like $100. The standard baffles are like about $20, $30, $40, maybe $50, depending upon the machine. That's not a problem. But $100 is too much. So that machine can be made to work. It'll run fine, except missing the baffle. And the other problem with not having the baffle is its rear drive. So all of that dirt and filth and grass is going to jam up into the belt, and it's going to get all over the cable, and it's going to be a problem. So I may have another one. I may come across. I have to go look in. I have a big plastic container outside where I shove a lot of plastic in, and there's a lot of baffles in there. There may be a baffle. I may have taken one. Maybe I can modify a baffle from something else and cut it and stick it in there. But that's all stuff for like at the beginning or the middle of the season. Because if I don't luck out, I can just drop the price, be honest with what's wrong with it, not use the bag. Now, it came in a bag, so I get a bag. I could take it all for parts. That's an option. The bodies are not interchangeable, though. Those are different bodies. So that's a non-win and something to look out for. And I haven't really thought about it. Yeah, Temu is, they just, my nurse friend, he says Temu is scammers. They got into a whole lot of trouble. They've been overcharging, and in a number of places around the world right now, they just had a huge boycott of people just, they weren't paying the suppliers. What they were doing is, the reason why you're getting such a low price is, one, they were not paying their suppliers. And the other thing, too, if you want to sell this piece of something, whatever it is, Temu decides what the price is. So you as a manufacturer says, well, I'm going to make this thing. I want to get $50 for it. Temu says, no. You want to list with us? It's $30. And you can't make any money. So Temu owes these people huge sums of money. And they're most likely going to be either thrown out of business or something's going to happen. So many people are up in arrears. They're putting manufacturers out of business because of this behavior. I don't buy from Temu. Right? That cheap price, what you're doing, you're getting the benefit and you're destroying somebody else. And Amazon does this to some degree as well. I've listened to a lot of manufacturers, particularly in the United States, but also around the world, where in order to list, there's all of these restrictions. They take a huge piece of your cash. It's really a difficult scenario. There's just too much authority over the manufacturers and the retailers that are trying to sell these products to the masses. And you might get a really great price, but this is why part of the reasons why the quality is beginning to suffer. So I won't buy from Temu. And Temu too. Like, I know people that buy. I watch a lot of these computer dudes that do a lot of stuff with Temu, because Temu will work with essentially retailers and manufacturers that don't really have any standing in the market yet, and they're trying to make a space for themselves in the market, but it takes forever because it's coming from overseas, so you may not see it for a few months. And then there's quality issues, and sometimes they get resolved, but it takes forever. Sometimes you get the stuff right away. But some of those people were leveraging Temu to get into Amazon because they can build up their quantities and some stature. And they have a little bit better deal with Amazon. But Amazon's going to be a little bit more money. So if you're trying to save a few bucks, you're just getting involved in something that's just horrible. It's not my thing. Let's see what the Brett says. Says my nurse friend bought a real nice Craftsman rear wheel drive black mower with a bag and big Briggs Quantum from us a few years ago and loves it. Her boys use it to keep it well maintained. Yeah, that's a nice machine. I feel bad. It's a really nice machine. They run really well. That machine's in great shape. I checked the motor over, although the blade was beat. So on that machine, I pulled the top off, right, of the crank, and yeah, it kind of jacked the key. So I need to pull the flywheel off of that engine and replace the key and check it. But it should be okay. It's not jacked really bad, and usually they survive very well. Those are the big crankshafts engines, the bigger, I forget, was it 3/4, 1 inch? I forget. They survived that. So, and that's probably why the plastic is all messed up. Because the person ran over something, got it jammed up, broke the plastic, spun the crank key, and threw it out. I got to see what I have. I'm not going to throw it out. I'm not going to part it out yet. I'm going to let it kick around. If I go out tomorrow or Monday, I want to pressure wash the bags. I got a whole crap ton of bags out there to wash for these machines that I want to get going. So I'll do the bags. I'll check through my plastic inventory. I might come across something. I might have it. I've had those machines. You don't see a lot of them. They're expensive. They were originally. And the one that I have actually was electric start as well. Now, I won't fix that, but that's not worth it. Yeah, made in America. Yep. These were Bud puts up the American flag. Yeah, these were some of the last ones that were made in the United States, by and large. They're very good quality. These are the ones I look for. Which is why I don't know exactly how I'm going to put out this video. But I thought I like to do them. I make money on them. I have a whole bunch sitting around back there. There's a couple more. I have some donator bodies too. Buried. I got to clean up back there anyway. I also want to clean up the machines and the parts inventory and throw out anything. Finish making my pile, because in another month or so, I want to, before the winter really hits and everything's locked in ice, I'd like to call Juan and just have him, clean up back there, have a pile for Juan. If Juan has anything for me, that's great. And kind of just move it all forward, sell what I can because I need the money. Get it out of here. Thin the herds. This stuff behind the shed, fellas, I haven't seen in more than a year. I don't even know. I kind of leaned over and peeked back there. I'm like, oh, God. And all the tree leaves and garbage is falling on them, and the raccoons shit all over them. And I got to get back there and get through some of this stuff and figure out what can I sell to make a few extra bucks before the end of the year. And what can I get rid of? And I like to clean everything first. And, and Henry always compliments me on this because all those parts are going to get put away. They're pretty clean. I didn't really have to use any detergent. I just used the pressure washer. I use detergents like the Super Clean on something like when I'm going to put it together. Or if it's just really, really bad. But just the pressure washer and all of the spiders and the bugs and the garbage basically is left in the yard, and I could bring it in and figure out where I want to house it and where I want to put it, what goes in the shed, what goes in the basement, what I can use right now, what I can flip, what's actually garbage, and just kind of move forward. That's the fun part of doing this. And I do make some good money on it if I do it regularly, but I haven't done any of it this year. I think I did a couple of machines at the very beginning of the year, and I don't even think all those are out on YouTube yet. So that's, who knows when this will come out. But again, I'm not really sure on how I would want to present this. So I'll collect all the footage when I'm done and put it all on a video, on a timeline, on my editor, and just kind of let it roll through and get rid of all the wasted time and the stuff that's no good and compact it down. And then I'll come back and I'll look at it. I'm like, okay, What can I make from this? I'm not really sure. It might be 3 videos, completely different, but all based around the same thing. So all you can do sometimes is just take the footage and see what you can do with it. That's kind of like with the Cub Cadet. And I still want to do one more video on that carburetor, just a quick one. The Cub Cadet isn't really, I mean, it made money on it, but it's not really like going to be a popular video on YouTube. Not that many people have that Cub Cadet walk behind. That motor, Brett and I always talk about it. It is a really nice motor. I don't know if I'm going to see too many of those machines. They are out there. They still sell a new variant of it. I did a good job of, kind of rebuilding it and fixing it. It'll be all together in that one folder for that machine. And it'll just be part of the library, and it'll be out there on the web if people want to watch it. That was fun, though. I mean, I like the welding and the repair and stuff like that. And it is a nice machine, and I do really like that motor. I'm kind of hoping one day I'll come across one where the body is falling apart, and I get to have the motor. And I'll put it on a Time Master body or something, or a Turf Master, right? Yeah, he goes, Brett says those were $500 without electric start. Yeah, they were priced. They were nice machines. The Transplant Platinum Series. That's it. That's exactly it. Yeah. Oh, I can't move. Yeah, I got to put these back. So I got to clean up when I'm done with the project, or sometimes as I'm working on the project. So one of them says 7.25. And that's the nice 190. This one is 7.0. You know how they are, right? They're always playing around. I got the nice tops. I'm going to put the Honda engine on because that one is there. It's in great shape. I checked it out. We're good to go. I might do the valves on that Honda motor, though, because while the engine's off, I can just sort of drop it on its butt, pull the rocker cover off, check the valves. I'm sure it needs... because it's long since past its 100-hour check. And I have a couple others that I don't think I've put the videos out on yet. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that I haven't done. But I might just do the valves. Just, I can put it, it's nice, I can put it up on the table, aim the camera down on it, whatever angle I want. It's easy. The oil's not going to drip. Pop the cover off, check the valves, adjust them, put everything back on, get my video footage, put it away, and I can put this entire machine together. And it really, this is a machine that somebody will have possibly if they're our age for the rest of their lives. And if they want to buy, like I had one guy, at the beginning of the year, I did a Honda, which I don't think I put out. I might have, I don't remember. I did a Honda and he liked it. He says, if it really looks like in person the way it looks like in the pictures, I'll buy it. And he was a contractor dude around our age, maybe a little bit older than me. And he bought an electric mower. He says, I like it. It's, I have a tractor as well. He goes, I use the electric. He's like, but I've wanted one of those Hondas, and I thought it'd be a good idea because it'd be a nice backup. I can decide which one I want to use. And if ever the gas-powered mower gives me an issue or the batteries are getting beat on my electric or something goes wrong, I got a backup. Yeah, best of all the world. And I get the mower that I kind of always wanted. The only thing was they said, I recommend that the wheels were getting a little bit bald. They had a little bit of tread left on, and they're not expensive. But it wasn't worth it for me to put wheels on it. The price point, because I know my customers in this area, like what they'll pay and what they won't pay. I'm like, the price point wasn't there for me. If you want, buy the wheels, I'll put them on. Or you just buy them, you put them on. But, I put some grease on, everything's all cleaned out. Or wait until next year and buy the wheels and clean it all out, put some fresh grease and whatever, and pop some new wheels on. He goes, I said, they'll probably work fine. I'm like, yeah, they're going to work fine. But, the mower was in such nice shape at that point. It's like I felt bad, but the price point wasn't there. It just isn't. And Tom knows all about that. If Tom's still here, I don't know if he's still here. Tractor! Yeah, she's up. I think she's still upstairs. I think she's just hanging out. We're all tired today. So how you guys all doing? You guys, have you had the weather change yet? It's cold at night. Let's see, what is it? 37 right now outside. And yesterday was really, really windy and cold. And today it was windy and about 50. So that's another reason why I didn't want to go out and do anything. So I like to just find these days where I can just sleep and rest And that's part of the problem with the diabetes is that because I can't store the energy, like I just had a few oranges, a couple pieces, I can't store the energy. So at some point, you're literally starving with tons of food in your belly and sugar in your blood because I can't metabolize it right. So at some point, I will start to run out of like energy and I get tired. And, with the other issues, I get achy and painy and cranky. And I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm not doing anything today. I'm just going to eat, inject, catch up, rest my bones. And then either tomorrow or Monday, it might rain tomorrow. Maybe. Let's cross our fingers. Because we're still in a fire warning. So I haven't used the fire pit. Nobody's doing that. There's, cautionaries out there. We don't want to be setting any fires. We desperately need rain. And it's like dry and gacky outside. And these idiots with the stupid blowers. You can't breathe. You should see the plumes of crap in the air going across the street. It was all over that mower when I was cleaning it. I was talking to Christina, come back out, and there's shit all over it. And they're far, right? Anyway, because let's see, Robert says, wait, hold on. Yes, was out on leaf duty after work. Yeah, nice. Rob says, getting cold at night here in the desert, daytime temp 70s, 80s. Yeah, it gets cold at night. He's out in AZ. Bud says, do your legs hurt with sugar problems? They can. I don't have any neuropathy. No, I did have that initially. It was bad. I got rid of the neuropathy. Like I said, I've been working to try to get healthier, and I am a lot healthier. But I don't have neuropathy anymore. So because that's gone, the only pain I get in my legs is the fact that I'm on my feet so much that at some point I'm like, I just need to stop, when you get to 60, you're not a young pup, and our testosterone levels start to drop. I actually do have some stuff for it. I don't take it enough, though. That's my bad. But, you lose all testo, whatever it is. Testo something HD. Wait. I actually don't have like low T or anything like that. I don't have that problem, but test HD. Right. Right, I'm like you guys know the Greek god Testicles, right? He was like the Greek god, right? The god of the dangles, right? Testicles, Nobody talks about that Greek god, but we do. We talk about God here because that Greek god, right? Because the boys are hanging out. It's my ex-wife watched the show one night, and I said, "What do you think?" And she goes, "It's a guy's show." Yes, you ladies are invited, but it's really a guy's show. It's not for the ladies. No offense, ladies. You're more than welcome, but no offense. But it's guys need some time to say stupid shit and do stupid stuff, right? We're all children. Basically, we haven't grown up. He goes, Bud goes, right? He goes, I've just been diagnosed with type 2. Yeah, and this is the problem, and I rail against it constantly. Get control of it, as ASAP. He says, I'm 59. My legs almost did not work. Yep. Semi-gluten is helping. Yeah, whatever you can, you gotta do the work. And I said this like it was last week. I'm like, the doctors will save your life, but they can't make you healthy. They don't know how. That's not what they do. And my doctor is like, he wants me on all these other medications. I'm like, Doc, I know. I'm not gonna look. The man helped save my life, but I'm not. He's still wearing a mask, for God's sakes. They don't know. They're not taught that. And as they get older, keep in mind that doctors. Well, first of all, the average age of a doctor they die a lot earlier than the rest of us. They are very busy. They're put through a lot. And there's just, for any of the married doctors, after medical school and everything else, and their practices and their internships and everything else, you can't blame them because they work these long hours. And at the end of the day, when they pull in, if they've got kids and a wife, he's not going to retire to his study and start looking at all the latest, white papers and studies and everything. They do to some degree, but they go to conferences usually for that where they get fed a lot. But they're not going to do that because the honey is like, Archer, now that you're home, can you not hide in your office? And I got all this stuff I need to, especially if they're Jewish. I do a good Jewish one. What are you doing over there? When are you going to come hang out and help with the kids? You haven't seen them in at least a week. Every night it's the same thing. I need help here, and the kitchen is overloaded. I don't care how much money you make. You're not really, you missed your son's review the other night. Oh, my God, right? Shut up, Art. We've already heard it. Yeah, they're not going to keep up. You can't blame them for all of this stuff. You're going to have to go. Or don't expect the insurance to pay for this. You can go find, there are doctors that do study this. They're called naturopaths. They're regular doctors, so they're not going to kill you, from some idiot on YouTube telling you, eat more testicles, right? This will fix you. No, don't listen to the YouTube idiots. I mean, you can watch them, but, remember. No, you can go to an actual doctor that studies this shit. Also, there are pharmacists, which are doctors, that you can listen to or subscribe to, and there's tons of books. I've got books on this as well. And always remember, read it with a grain of salt, right? But there's a lot of information out there on what you can do to help yourself out. But you can't expect the guy that you go to up the block, right? Insurance is paying for it. They're not going to pay for any of this stuff. They don't care. Right? They used to, for a little while, they would pay for certain things, but things change. What can you do? I remember when I was younger, I noticed that a lot of the docs that were coming out, around my age, I found one for a while. He was starting to get into it. Well, he got divorced and everything else, and the boat had to go, and the car, and this is what I mean, right? We're just people, Blonde, he goes, wait. He goes, the Geritol channel, right? Right. But he goes, wearing a mask. Yeah, and he's Indian or Pakistani. I don't ask because they don't like each other so much. So I'm always afraid. I don't know much about that. But he talks, I'm like, what, Doc? So now it's, I'm like, no, I don't know what you're saying. I don't want to disrespect the man. I don't want to be a dick. And I just go, yeah, I know. I don't know what to do. Honestly, I got to do me. But all of these drugs that they came out with in the 80s, right, for cholesterol, I'll say this, for all this other stuff, what happened? They got us to stop smoking. What happened? Now, 75, almost 80% of Americans, including the children, are morbidly obese. That's a fact. They're type 2, even at young ages. That was never a thing. Heart disease, cardiovascular disease, high cholesterol, you name it. And they're on a path to some serious shit, and they're miserable. And these medications have been out, and they were like, oh, this is going to stop you from this, and it hasn't worked. Well, when they're going to wake the fuck up and realize that it's not working, people are not getting better, they'll keep you alive for what? Triple coronary bypass and everything? They got us to stop smoking, and we got sicker. And it's the food, it's the chemicals, it's all kinds of shit. So I'm not really the channel for that. I also got some just regular vitamins too. But my daughter and I are into some of this stuff. So we have all kinds of other things. Like I was drinking earlier. This was a bit of lemon juice. It's just mostly water now. But filtered water, lemon juice, elderberry tincture, and chlorophyll. And I do it a couple times a week. Micronutrients. I'm like, he's like, when are you going to quit smoking? I'm like, I know. I drink too much coffee and I smoke. That's my biggest thing. That's my vice. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. I don't mess with the women's really because they're dangerous. They're life ending. Kenny says, Kenny from South Park or the Swedish chef. Yeah. So you got to learn on your own. What are you going to do? You could make some physical changes to yourself. At one point, I was over 200 pounds, which was way too much. Again, that's the problem, and that's what triggered a lot of that. And the stress. Stress is huge. If you have a lot of stress in your life, you're pumping out cortisol like I was for years. It will kill you. That will, in itself, everybody knows that, though. But it says, gotta lose weight. I'm 345. Yeah, because you're 345 and you're pre-type 2 because of the situation that we found ourselves in. It's not our fault. We didn't know. but they're poisoning us. Obviously, right? How does an entire population wind up like that, myself included, a bunch of years ago? There's something going on, right? Something's not right. It's the food, it's all the other crap, right? It's all that garbage. How did I get rid of neuropathy? Well, yeah, that was a long road. The first thing is I had to make sure I was treating the diabetes better. So getting the injections in at the right time, and then because my lifestyle had to change. So I realized there was no way I could go back and get a regular job. I wouldn't survive it. So I would this is the other thing that you hear me do, and you see me do it a lot. So what did I spend a lot of the day today? And also this comes from my back issues. My feet got to go up, right? And this chair, I can sit back and watch YouTube. I got a monitor over there. I got these big monitors over here. I spend a lot of time with trying to get my feet elevated. The other thing I do is almost every night, and that's why I was recommending this to Mater. And you've heard me talk about it. Hold on, let me get my glasses back on. So I have a couple of different, you get this from your doctor or your pain doctor if you want to go to them. This is diclofenac sodium topical gel, and you can get them in different variations. Like this one is 2%. You can also get a 3%. So usually they put this on my back, but what I found was, and then any kind of, like this is hemp hand cream. So at night, when I finally settle in, usually after a shower, I'll rub my legs, my feet, everything, and rub that stuff in. You want to get your circulation up. So there's a mix between putting that stuff on, which will help with any pain or whatever, rubbing in briskly, massaging your legs and your feet, go all the way up, back and down a bunch of times, using that. Let it sit for a little while, then come back a little bit later, and I put the hemp on and do the same thing. And it just takes like 5 minutes. And then get my feet up for a little while. That improves circulation, especially if you're starting to get any like varicose veins or spider veins or anything like that. You want to be careful in those areas, but you want to get the circulation up. The other thing, too, is cholesterol. One of the myths of cholesterol, there's 3 kinds. So I eat a lot of bacon and a lot of butter. And one of the myths about it that they've misled us on starting in the 70s, when they got this on canola oil and margarine, that stuff is garbage. Cholesterol is one of the baseline things that's used to repair our vascular system. Almost everything is made in our body out of some basic proteins. And the problem with the cholesterol is that they're not understanding it. They didn't when they first started talking about it. And they went, oh, no, wait, no, there's another kind. No, they got it wrong. And I eat regular cholesterol and a lot of it because you need to repair your body. And I eat a lot of salt, but I don't eat sodium chloride because that stuff is garbage. You need to eat mineralized salt, like, ancient Himalayan undersea. So they actually mine that stuff, but they strip all the good stuff out of it. So you need all of the right minerals. You need let's see, what was the other thing that I started on more recently? It is collagen. You could see it in as we age, right? Our skin gets wrinkly and yuck. That's because your collagen is too low. Your cholesterol level is too low. It's not the right cholesterol. You're eating, if your cholesterols are going up, it's because you're eating this, right? It's because you're eating this. This is my favorite. Hold on.
Most common cooking oil is literally Mower. Canola oil is everywhere. Restaurants, packaged foods in your pantry. It's all made from
a seed.
Since the Industrial Revolution, canola was the solution. It was a contribution to lubricants for ship, steam engine maintenance. The U.S. built a lot of ships during World War II and needed a lot of lubricants. Canada made a bunch of this seed oil in abundance. After World War II, they had so much excess oil.
Yep.
Nuisance. Too much oil.
Yeah, peanut oil too, Rob.
Finance guy said,
Nice. Yeah, so Rob says the olive oil. Now, there's a couple of gotchas with that. Hold on. Oh, that's not the right one. Hold on. I'm coming. So there's a couple of gotchas. So, let's see. Robert Kennedy Jr. is going to get us out. Well, maybe. You know, he knows what to do, but he's going to have a lot of resistance. Remember, there's a lot of money behind these industries. Mitch says, I already got him. Rob says, RW says, olive oil and coconut oil. I'll get to that. Mr. Monroe says, here's for his last words. Hey, Ken, he says, hey, Brett, except too many have peanut allergies. Yes, and the peanut allergies also came from some of the vaccinations because they were using peanut oil or something in one of the adjuvants. And you have to have an adjuvant in a vaccine. It's a standard vaccine. Otherwise, the body won't react to it. And then the body started to associate peanuts with the adjuvant. And when the kids would eat peanut later on, they would have problems. So anyway, that's another story. So the problem with olive oil is it is actually difficult in this country to get pure olive oil. A lot of it is actually shipped from Italy or Spain, and they mix in a certain amount of vegetable oil or some other oil because real good olive oil does not shelve well, and it takes time to ship. And the FDA had stepped in, and you don't want rancid olive oil. So the FDA had said, well, depending upon where you're shipping it, where it's coming from, they're allowed to add in some canola oil or whatever else, because it can go rancid. It's a natural product, and you would not want to eat rancid oil. I used to keep some rancid olive oil here because when I was doing the Corvettes and the cars and everything, and we would talk about oil, I would keep some old oil around just to show what happens when you don't put certain additives in. All oil is a natural product. It will go rancid. And when you cook with olive oil, it has a much lower flash point, so it will glycate. If it turns brown and you're eating it, and this is something my ex-wife, for years I've been arguing with her over. I'm like, you burn that oil. Now everything in there is garbage. It's toxic. Well, I mean, if you got to take some chemistry on this. It glycates, and A1C is a measurement of glycation in the body. It is oxygen damage. It's oxidative stress. Oxidative stress and oxidative damage, wherever it comes from, whether you're eating it, it occurs in the body from the chemicals and the interactions. It causes damage and inflammation in the body, which leads to, it is disease, which leads to greater disease. So eating burned oil, I don't care what oil it is bad. And olive oil will burn at a lower temperature. Now, if you get into, like a lot of Chinese use a peanut oil, if it's a very good quality peanut oil, it's better than eating burned olive oil. It's not as good as olive oil, but it has a much higher flash point. You can cook your food longer. You can kind of reuse it longer. Now, most of us, when we go out to eat, we eat fries. What are you eating? You're eating garbage canola oil, which your body cannot digest, so it stores it into your fat cells. It's toxic. It causes oxidative stress, but it can be left in the fryer forever, and you can keep frying your French fries in it. Now, years ago, they used tallow. And that was one of the things that McDonald's was known for, why their fries tasted so good, because they cooked their French fries in tallow, and it had to be changed out on a regular basis because if you overheat it or use it too long, it goes bad. Now they just add all kinds of chemicals into the fry shake, the seasoning shake, tons of chemicals. They fry it up in garbage motor oil, canola oil, and we think it tastes good. But it's garbage. It's toxic. Don't eat it. It's garbage. I don't eat it. And then you'll put it on in pounds, and you're toxifying your body. And one of the worst things that happens, and I've seen this, I worked with somebody that he had a secretary who was 40 years old. She decided that she was going to start working out. And this isn't the first time I've heard this. She smoked a lot. So within her fat cells, because these are like alkaloids and stuff, cannabis and everything, she started working out too much, too fast. She died almost immediately. She had poisoned her body. Yeah, the body didn't know what to do with this release of all these poisons. So if you start working out and you're very overweight, you have a problem because you are loaded up with all this oxidative stress and these toxins. And all of these oils have affinities for all of these other chemicals that are used in, the spraying of the foods and the glycines and all this other stuff that they spray. It's all in the same kind of family. They are analogs to some of the hormones, and they trick the body. And when you start burning that shit, you become toxic. So you'll get sick. So even if you think, well, I can get healthy, I'm going to lose some weight, be careful. Look into it. I only know so much about it, So let's see. Tar Heel, I haven't seen you in a while, buddy. Bud says, that's right, peanut oil and egg as adjuvants. Yes, yeah. Well, they have to put something in because the original story was they tried injecting some of these, virus, concoctions into our bodies, and it didn't really react. So they came up with the concept of the adjuvant, which is a good idea. But if you do too often or in certain people, they develop allergies and other sicknesses. And it's in some percentage. To me, it's too high. I don't like the idea of any treatment that is potentially dangerous, but that's how our medicine works. Rob says, also for high temp, cooking soy or soy peanut mix. Yeah, you can use that. If you really need to go to a high temp, that is a much better choice than any of these canola, quote, vegetable oils, because they're too loose with the terminology. Seed oils are bad. Any seed oil, even soy, is a problem, but in moderation. And it's still better than the garbage vegetable oil. And it's still better than the vat oil, which is reused. A friend of mine does this for a living. He's a truck driver, and he works for a company that they go and they suck out and they replace and they recycle that oil. Recycle it. There's big money in it now. Remember there was all those videos years ago on how you could run your car on all that vegetable oil, and they didn't know how to get rid of it, and they would throw it out, and you could go up to a restaurant and they'd be more than happy to give you all of their oil, and you could remove the acids from it and filter it out, and it smelled like French fries when you went down the road. You guys, I bet you can remember it. Some of you guys, this is what, I don't know, like more than 10 years ago, at least more than 10 years ago, like beginning of YouTube era. I used to watch some of that shit. I'm like, ooh, can I put that in my car somehow? Oh, that was nice. I like the idea of that. It smells like French fries. It's a good use for it. So there are like lard. Yes, lard. Yep. Free it, fry it. Oh, just like the old timers used to do, our grandmas and even my mother. But she got into the Crisco. Crisco, by the way, I always laugh because like Wayne's always talking about the double oil issue, right? The double oil, they can't get up there. Just use Crisco. Use Vaseline and Crisco, or, you could even use that canola oil. They're the ones that invented it. In World War II, it's true. They wanted to contribute. There was a number of like natural resources that Canada had the ability to deal with. They wanted to contribute. They came up with this great idea. It was very useful in the Navy ships, particularly the submarines. It was very clean. They had tons of these seeds. They had a great agricultural system in those days. And they came up with the idea of it. And then somebody said, hey, let's eat it. Yeah, some fucking idiot that wanted to make money. And now it's a big business and we're all fucking fat. It's disgusting. That's what I was using it too. I'm like, even when you make cookies, what do you grab? Vegetable oil. I'm like, isn't something else we could use? And the real good stuff is expensive. Yeah, animal fat. Yep. Yes, air fry. But we have an air fryer, but a certain amount of oil in our diet is good because everything has oil. People say, oh, it comes from, what do they go? All the shit that died like back in the whatever fucking period. Like it's dinosaur oil. Not really. Everything has oil in it. It is the second largest quantity of liquid stuff other than seawater on this planet. The planet makes it. Oil is in everything. There's oil in this rind. You can make orange oil from it if you squeeze enough of this shit. And that's what I put on my top right here. I could rub this right on. And that oil from this inside the skin of the rind, lemon oil, orange oil, is great for tops like this. It's all got uses. It's just we shouldn't eat all of it, you know? Yeah, air frying is good. But again, having some of that good oil to raise your cholesterol up, your good cholesterol. I eat tons of this stuff, and all of that is nice. All nice. And it helped me get rid of a lot of the problems I had. And I can burn the oil. It takes a while to burn it. So as a diabetic, it takes longer to burn the oil. And the body knows what to do with it. My liver is not fatty. My friend, Visceral Matt, he's 27. He's got a fucking fatty liver, and he's got the eczema and everything, and he's been injecting that crap into his body. And I told him, you're going to have problems with that. Well, that's what the doctor gave me, and it got rid of my eczema. I said, but bro, it's killing you. Like so recently went to the doctor, and the doctor said at 27, you have a fatty liver. I went, bro, you need to shut that down now. If you have a fatty liver at 27, you're not going to do well in the next 10 years. That's a guarantee. They don't want to frighten you, but you got to fix that. But he doesn't know how to fix it, and they don't know how to fix it. They're just going to give him more drugs. That's not the answer. But again, the air fryer is nice, and I do use it, but you do want some of the good oils added into your diet. And it'll, especially if you're becoming somewhat more diabetic, because it's going to smooth out your energy a little bit, because it takes a little bit longer for your body to turn that into something that it can use. The liver has to do that. And it will try to make that compound, and then you'll have it for energy, and hopefully it'll bypass some of these other sugars or whatever you're taking in. Like now we're starting to make bread. It's a bit of a pain in the ass, but I got my ex-wife turned onto it. I'm like, you want the old-fashioned, it's like a spelt variety. It was the original variety that human beings had made going way back. It's still around, and it's just like $50 for, I think, like 5 pounds. No, I don't know whether she said it was 5 pounds or 5-gallon pail. I forget. It was a lot. For $50. I'm like, ooh, that's a lot of material. Like that would be for a whole year. And then pepper it in with a few other things. So when we get a few extra bucks, I'm going to start doing that. I have the little bread machine, but it doesn't work right. It's crap. It's just easier to just do it by hand, add the yeast in, let it sit out overnight. You don't even have to do anything fancy. We just plop it down on the tray. It takes whatever shape it takes, and you shove it in the oven. It smells nice. In the wintertime, it helps keep the house warm and smells great. And then when it comes out, you take tons of butter, and you just like ooze it all over the top. And I don't really, like, it doesn't freak out. If I have a New York bagel, I have one half of that bagel and my blood sugars are off the fucking scale. This stuff, nope. Doesn't happen. I can't even eat an entire New York bagel as much as I love them, as great as they are. And I'm talking the one that's made in the brine, in the big vats. They're awesome, but I can't eat it. And I know because I actually prick my fingers all day long and I can measure what's happening, And since leftover glycerin was a problem. Yes, yeah. And the glycerin has a use, but when you have too much of it, I was also looking into, because I was mentioned earlier, I don't know if Ken caught it, but I wanted to spend some time watching some of those old machinist stuff. And I was looking into what they made some of the old lubricants and coolants out of. And there were combinations of mineral oil and there was something else too. It was a natural product. Because I like to know, what did they use years ago? Like, what were they doing? I just get a kick out of it. It's just one of those things that's like a hobby for me. Even though I'm not a machinist or anything, I would like to be one. But I just like to learn about the different processes and things before everything became so synthetic. Because they used stuff for a very long time that was very useful. And it's homebrew diesel. Yeah, Ken goes, yeah, that was good stuff. Ken, Robert says, I got an oil sprayer to use for my air fryer. Yes, the pump up one or the nicer one where you hook your airline to it. Bring it out in the garage. I'll be right back, honey. I gotta fill the oil sprayer. Well, you gotta stop doing that. Oh, it's just good. It's easier. Eastwood sells one of those, and so does Harbor Freight. I gotta get one. Yeah, same here, Rob. Yeah. Yeah, just a little bit of oil on top. Like you can air fry and then spray a good quality oil on top. And then even stick it in the air fryer like that. And put a little bit on the base. You know, like we do. We spray a little bit on, on the base and maybe a little bit on top or a little bit of butter and you're good to go. Well, so there's all of these things. We just forgot. And then they got us into this rat race world where we're going, and you stop off at McDonald's and here, and you think Taco Bell is better than McDonald's. And no, it's horrible. We're dying. What was that? I'm dying here. You guys remember what that was from? What was that Dog Day Afternoon when he's in the phone box or somebody was, what was it? Yeah, I think he was in there. He's like, don't you understand? Don't you see? I'm dying here. Yeah, it was like Dog Day Afternoon. You guys remember that one? I'm dying here. Justice Squeeze. Yep. You don't need much. That's the stuff. But unfortunately, I've already damaged myself. There's only so much I can do. I did get rid of the neuropathy. It was a many-pronged approach. Many-pronged. Then vitamin D3, all the minerals. Now, I get full blood work, and I can even get a broader blood work. There's like a SMAC 24 or something. I forget. You guys might know. You could really look at everything. It'll cost you money, but you do it like once a year. And if you go to a naturopath, it'll cost you some money, but they can look at, before you start downing vitamins and all this crap, because you could be toxic if you do that too. You can get a full blood workup and they'll tell you what you're deficient in, and then you can address those deficiencies. Now, when my daughter got really sick, her vitamin D3 level was in the tank. When I got real sick, my vitamin D3 level. And they prescribed very potent vitamin D pills. Before I started taking them on my own, it took a year in order to get those levels up because the body doesn't know what to do with it. When you fuck with your body and throw everything all out of balance for too long, even if you start doing the right thing, the body doesn't know what to do with this stuff. It just excretes it. Or worse, it will store it, which is a problem. So it took a year. And in that year, I really wasn't doing well because I didn't have the right levels that I needed in my body. And the body was struggling to figure out what to do with it. And eventually, if you don't die or get really sick, it catches up. But as you get older, you don't heal as fast, so you're not going to respond as quick. Yeah, fish oil is good. Yes, I should take more of that. Yeah, Ken says, he goes, old machinists use lard oil. Yeah. And Brett says it aids in the crisping of the food. Yes, especially chicken fillets and potatoes. Now, remember, right? Now, Rob will tell you, I used to eat my steak like just throw it in the fire and leave it, and I'll come back in an hour, right? And it would be black. That's bad. And everybody would tell me this years ago. That's bad. It's glycation. You've destroyed it. You've carbonized it. You've removed any of the valuable nutrients and micronutrients within the food, and you've replaced it with toxic glycated oxidized garbage and carbon. And even the bit of crisping is glycation. And it's toxic. Now, a little bit is okay. What I was doing years ago was an effing sin. To a decent hamburger. I remember Mr. Burger, right? Speaking of hamburger, I know Rob. I don't think you were in school at that point, but because he's a little older than me. But Mr. Burger, he was a big, heavy guy, right? And he ate a lot of hamburgers. And he would say, I just want it passed over the flame once this way and then once that way, just to take the chill off. Well, that's a little too far, right? But I like the moo still in there. It's there's necessary nutrients that are inside. Now you can sear the top and the bottom real quick, and that's usually enough, and get that little bit of the texture or whatever. But you don't want to cook out all the wonderful goodness inside, and I had to learn that the hard way. And Rob used to tell me, you're killing it. You're killing your steak. And I think it was RW got me into eating like a nice cut. you know, and having the joy. And it took him a few years, I think, to finally convince me because we were really young. Yep. And he eats a lot of fish, probably still. His father was a fisherman. You know, we all used to like to fish because we grew up here, but his father, like my father, was a fisherman. So krill oil is better than fish oil. Yeah. Yeah. Well, the Jews eat that gefilte fish. What the hell is that, Rob? What is gefilte fish in the jar? You ever see that sinful thing inside that jar? I'm like, how do you people eat that? It must be some ceremonial thing. I'm like, oh my God. Like a well-seared rare steak. That's delicious. Yeah. He goes, Rob says, yeah, my wife started like you also. Yeah, it was a problem. We were all bent on like overcooking steak. But it's terrible for you to do that. My ex-wife still burns her food. She still overcooks it. And my daughter won't eat it. And I think my ex-wife gets insulted a little bit. But my daughter knows better because it's not good for her gut to eat that stuff that's overcooked. You know, I think there was this fear that there were worms and all this other stuff. And I get it. Bacteria. I get it. It's a problem. You know, I'm not going to say it isn't. There's stuff that goes around and things get contaminated. But if you continuously overcook it, you're killing yourself. You know? But says a hamburger, you can grind your own from choice steak. Yeah, that would be nice. That's really the right thing. I used to have a good butcher around the corner, and I really got to find another one. You know, Rob says they're germaphobes. Well, that was the other thing they got us all hooked on. Right? Everything is germs everywhere, and you're going to die, and you're going to get sick. And you remember, like, my generation of parents, like, we started, like, the helicopter parent nonsense. And maybe it was a generation before, but there was a generation in there where they wouldn't let the kids play in the sandbox. They didn't want them to get dirty. And I realized this, and I'm like, let Christina play and all that. The kids should be dirty. We were all dirty. We drank out of, like, garden hoses. And I mean, it was a different time. But yeah, it kind of went off the deep end. Everybody became like germophobes, you know, and the helicopter parents and the moms. Can't get dirty. The only time I wasn't allowed to be dirty was on Sunday and in the morning on my way to school when I was very young. If I had so much as my shirt collar wrong or my collar's not like the tails of my shirt hanging out, my mother would grab me, just about smack me, you know, like, tuck your shirt in. You're not going out of the house looking like this. You know, there was different pride back then, you know. We had to be well behaved. Not like today. You know, it's a different world. All right, where are we at? All right, we're 2 hours and 10 minutes. I'm going to call it here. Thanks, everybody, for stopping in. That's good. Like I said, I haven't been preparing. I wanted to rest all day, which I did. Mission accomplished. I feel a lot better. I want to go eat because I didn't really eat. And what am I going to have? I can't eat this all the time, but there's a little bit of chili left over, and there's a little bit of rice. And that's the other thing, too. Keep your rice. When you cook it, you got to get it right in the refrigerator. There is... some of you guys may know, there is that thing that lives inside of it it creates a poison within the rice as it deteriorates. And so you cannot leave rice out. You really shouldn't eat secondhand rice unless, of course, you've cooked it and put it right away in the refrigerator. I forget what it is. I'm getting tired. But I have a little bit of rice and a little bit of chili. And before it goes bad, I'm going to heat that up. I'm going to sit down. I can't eat too much of it for the obvious reasons. But, it'll go down good, and I'll hang out for a little bit longer and watch some YouTube or just kind of sit around. Thanks for everybody coming around. I'm going to go hit the chili. I'll see you guys later. Just want to make sure everybody says goodbye. Yep, this is night, and Cat has a large litter box. Good night, Arch. All right, fellas, I'll see you later.